Welcome back. If you're just joining us, you're watching the news at 10 live on Channels Television. The Minister of Finance, Mrs. Zainab Ahmed, has been speaking on the federal government's strategic plans towards job creation for the nation's youth. At the Nigeria Economic Summit meeting in Abuja, she listed the attainment of 7,000 megawatts of electricity as a major milestone in empowering youths with small businesses. Speaking on the theme Sustainable Opportunities, she says this feat was achieved through the implementation of the economic and growth plans with a mission of industrialization.
Data from the Bureau of Statistics puts the total population of the nation's youths at over 33 million. This group of people, who are mostly between ages 18 to 35, are said to be the greatest resource of the nation. But there are many challenges confronting them. Chief amongst these is unemployment.
Is to say the solutions exist.
At one of the plenary sessions at the Nigeria Economic Summit, experts raised concerns on why these challenges persist, in spite of the federal government's ambitious plans to make the economy work.
Every year, we are graduating roughly 350,000 to 400,000 young men and women. And I speak only now of university education. And every year, we reckon that anything as high as half of them remain unemployed. What that speaks to is that in 5 years, you've probably got the better part of 7.5 to 8 million young people disaffected, careers not starting, and then we cannot complain about the tensions that breeds.
There were also observations on what the government must do to get it right in its drive to ensure an all-inclusive development.
There has to be some sense of urgency from the executive, from the top, some sense of political urgency. It can be an elected leader, it can be a political party. There has to be some effective team with some depth, not just one or two people, but a small team can really be critical that will stay in place for a long period of time.
The Minister of Finance appears to have answers to these questions.
We have to enable small enterprises to access finance. We have to provide basic infrastructure, especially power for businesses, whether it's a barber or hair salon or a small restaurant or cafeteria or a tailor, to be able to run their business without having to run the generator, ramping up their costs. We have to make sure that transportation cost is reasonably low, and also that it is effective and available.
While the federal government is hopeful that its plans for the economy will help lift over 50% of its population out of poverty, experts advise a more holistic approach in addressing the challenge. This, according to them, will include a partnership with the private sector to achieve results.
Well, let's now join Gloria Mezuke, who's standing by at our Abuja studios with more stories. Hello, Gloria.
Hello, Millicent. We begin in Kaduna State, where the government has selectively varied a 24-hour curfew declared on Sunday in the metropolis and other parts of the state. This follows a meeting of the State Security Council, which received reports and deliberated on the security situation. It was recommended that the curfew in Kasuwan Magani and Kajuma be relaxed to enable people move between 6 a.m. and 5 p.m., but will now be enforced from dusk to dawn, from 5 p.m. to 6 a.m. The council, however, sustained a 24-hour curfew in Kabala West, Kabala Doki, Sabon Tasha, Narayi, and Maraban Rido areas where attacks on places of worship were either attempted overnight or contemplated. Meanwhile, Governor Nasiru El-Rufai has warned that the affected communities will themselves bear the cost of repairs to the damage and destruction sustained in the violence. A federal high court in Abuja has fixed November the 19th for hearing in the suit seeking an order to compel the investigation of the APC national chairman Adams Oshomole by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. At the resumed hearing, a lawyer to Mr. Oshomole informed the court of a notice of preliminary objection filed on behalf of his client, challenging the local standi of the applicant, Bishop Osadolo Oche. While acknowledging receipt of the preliminary objection, counsel to Bishop Oche asked for time to enable him respond.
The 8-year tenure of Mr. Adams Oshiomhole as the governor of Edo State is being called to question as a clergyman resident in Benin, the Edo State capital, wants the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission to investigate the former governor, who is now the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress. Hearing of the matter was, however, stalled as the EFCC failed to send any legal representation. Lawyer to Mr. Oshiomhole, who informed the court of his application challenging the local standing of the applicant to institute the action, explains the reason for his objection.
There's an effort to say that perhaps there is some basis for the EFCC to investigate and prosecute Comrade Adams Oshiomhole. And I can tell you on behalf of Comrade Adams Oshiomhole that we have seen the paperwork that has been filed, and there is absolutely nothing to be bothered about. Absolutely nothing to bother about.
The applicant and his counsel defend their action as they insist on the investigation of Mr. Oshiomhole by the anti-graft agency.
For over the years, particularly since Comrade Adams Oshiomhole came on board, no razor blade have entered that area. In those days, they do grade rules once December, January. But from 2007 till today, as I speak, all the roads in where I stay, Ward 5, in the Ekpoboha local government area, is in deplorable condition.
We are in court to seek leave of court to ask for the issuance of another mandamus against EFCC to investigate and possibly prosecute Comrade Adams Oshiomhole.
Although the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission failed to send a legal representation, Justice Anuri Chikere adjourned the suit to the 19th of November for the hearing of the preliminary objection.
Well, Governor Akinwumi Ambode of Lagos State says he will lead a strong campaign to ensure victory for President Muhammadu Buhari in the 2019 elections. Governor Ambode also pledged his support for the governorship candidate of the All Progressives Congress, APC, in the state, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu. He made the promise whilst at the presidential wing of the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos. The governor earlier accompanied President Buhari to perform the official commissioning of the new Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS border post at Semekrake in Badagry.
I'm committed to ensuring his re-election. We're going to campaign heavily for him, and also committed to ensuring that APC wins the governorship election come 2019. So we support the candidacy of Babajide Sanwo-Olu and make sure that APC retains Lagos State and APC retains the center.
Meanwhile, the Ogun State Governor, Senator Ibikunle Amosun, has denied what he referred to as speculations of disaffection between him and President Muhammadu Buhari by political opponents about his relationship with the president. In a statement, Governor Amosun insists that his relationship with President Muhammadu Buhari remains strong and denied making any allegations against the president. According to Governor Amosun, I quote, "The ultimate aim of the purveyors of these falsehoods is to drive a wedge between me and the president and tarnish my hard-earned reputation," unquote. While stressing that their relationship transcends partisan politics, Governor Amosun says the grand campaign is targeted at those loyal and committed to the president and the success of the All Progressives Congress. It is important that a strategic roadmap for the digital switchover in the African continent be developed to ensure everyone enjoys the digital experience. This fact was emphasized by the Director General of the National Broadcasting Commission at the 12th Biennial Conference and Exhibition of African Broadcasters, Africast 2018. The theme for this year is the dynamics of broadcasting in a digital world, with the focus on what impact the digital switchover will have on the continent's broadcast space. Our correspondent, Kayla Megwa, reports.
The gathering has remained a major event on the international calendar. Is owed to the commitment of all our partners who ensure that we can gather here every 2 years to enjoy the intellectually engaging interrogations, as well as the exhibition of the cutting-edge technology that make our industry so dynamic.
AfriCast features the who is who in the broadcasting industry across the continent, as well as broadcasters from around the world. The chairman of the board of the National Broadcasting Commission speaks on what the platform provides.
Today, the Commission, which is the body regulating this very important industry, continues to record tremendous achievements building on the dreams of its founding fathers. AfriCast has created a platform for innovations advancement in the African broadcast industry and in the high level of excellence.
The chairman, House Committee on Information, National Orientation, Ethics and Values, spoke on the need for stakeholders to contribute towards funding the digital switchover and what role the National Assembly is playing to ensure it is done.
Just last week, the National Assembly have passed second reading of the bill to amend the existing act to accommodate the DSO in the Nigeria law.
AfriCast offers broadcasters in Africa a unique opportunity to showcase the best in their creativity, as well as interact with over 1,000 delegates from across the world. For the next few days, these broadcast pundits will be deliberating on the best way to deliver the digital switchover in Africa. Kayla Megwa, Channels Television News.
When the news at 10 returns, House of Representatives approves issuance of $2.7 billion from International Capital Market for part funding of the 2018 budget. That's some business news. Please join us again.